Okay, good morning, Form Fives. This is particularly for Owen because you weren't at the Zoom this morning, Owen, but it's for any of you really who need to go back over our assignment. So what I'm saying is that your assignment will be due now on Monday, draft 3 of osteoporosis, because we kind of need to nail this and get it into the bag. So I'm just going to go back over some of the things that I want you to make sure that you have in your assignment before you hand it up to me again. So starting off, you've 69 lines, so try not to go over 70, 71 lines, and please try and write as small as you can because you have a lot to fit in. Okay, small but legible. Now if you can type it, it would be wonderful, but if that's not possible, that's okay. Now, so starting off with what is osteoporosis. Now, I'm just telling you here about 4 or 5 lines max should be enough here for your introduction. Make sure you have some sort of a reference to bone health, and then you have a statistic that's referenced. But you won't have any more than 4 or 5 lines here because you just wouldn't simply have room for it. Okay? Now, the first main heading is the factors that affect bone health, and that is your heading number 1, and that should stand out with a different colour or underlined. Now, the main factors that I want you to make sure you have. Now, what I want you to do is go to your notes, look at the factors I'm telling you need, and write them down from your notes, because you hopefully will have more information gained and looked up about each of these factors. And if I say, the first one here is about estrogen and hormones and the menopause, look up a little bit about this. How does this affect bone health? And have a good informed sentence to write. So you need to think here for each factor you're writing, how does each factor affect bone health? So don't just write early menopause or hysterectomy, right? That doesn't make sense. You need to look up and see how does that affect bone health, right? So the main ones I want you to make sure you have here are the first 2 there. Okay, so make sure you have those included in your own words and look them up. If you have used these on your existing draft number 2, then use the wording that you have in that, and please look up how they affect bone health. Now, second thing I'll say here is small bone structure, low body weight. History of eating disorders, low calcium, phosphorus and vitamin D intake, lack of weight-bearing exercise, okay, heavy drinking, smoking and excess caffeine and fibre. Now you need to look up there, how does too much caffeine and how does too much fibre actually affect or stop or inhibit the absorption of calcium? You need to look up how. And family history. Okay, they're the main ones, and if you can squeeze more in, do, but they're the ones that are a must. So put them in whatever order you want. Look up your existing piece that you sent to me, and if you've referenced any of those in it, then put those to the top of just under your heading. Okay, now your second heading is signs and symptoms. Okay, so make sure that is your second heading. Don't go off and do another heading for me. Your second heading is signs and symptoms. Okay, now some of you just jotted down a couple of these haphazardly, and that's not acceptable. You have to actually look up and read about whatever ones you're talking about. So fractures slow to heal or an unexplained fracture, that would be an important sign or a symptom that I know I could have osteoporosis. Now you can actually put that along with this point, broken bones from trips or falls, and also unexplained broken bones. So you fall, you break a bone, but you don't know how it happened. So they can go together. Now the second one I would say there is back pain. So tell me, and that links in with number 8, how what's the story with back pain and bone health. Okay, I would also say their loss of height, 2 to 16 centimeters. So they're very important. And the other one I would say would be very important is curvature or rounding of the spine. Okay, so that's very important. Now, if you have more points, fantastic. I would expect you to have some more points, but anything you write has to be explained. Okay, so don't just write a list. Now, the third heading is nutritional needs. Now, this is the one where you're probably not doing it the way it should be done. The first point under this is referencing the food pyramid, particularly focusing on the dairy shelf and how many portions each group need. Now, the nutrients I want you to make sure you've listed are calcium, vitamin D, phosphorus, protein, fat and carbohydrate and iron. Also vitamin C and water. Now, anything after that is a bonus. Vitamin A, because it's needed for growth, that would be okay as well to use, but they're the main ones. Now, for each nutrient, so not water, but for each nutrient, you have to give the function and try and link it in with bone. You have to give the RI. Now, you can find this in your book, or you will find it on the Food Safety Authority website, fsai.ie. And three healthy sources. So I have calcium done there for you, so you can put that in your own words. It's directly linking to the skeleton and the bone and the teeth, and then I will let you do the rest similar to that layout. Okay? And then the last main heading is the factors to consider when planning and preparing meals. So if you have said earlier on that excess caffeine affects bone health, then here you need to say, right, cut down on too much caffeine. This is how you can do it, and this is what you can take instead. Okay, so it's giving advice, but it's bringing it full circle. You're directly linking what you've said earlier to the advice you're giving now. So the first and the second and the third point here are very important. Right, very, very important. Okay, so putting those in your own words, referring here to the phytates and the oxalates, and what you can eat instead. Right? I would also say here that this is very important, avoiding excess alcohol and increasing your calcium and dairy. Okay? Exposure to the sunlight for vitamin D for calcium absorption is good as well. Right? If available, you can choose super milk that's fortified with vitamin D. So that's one way of getting extra calcium. So that point can actually go up here with this point, because that's a way that you can do that. And then referring to the vegans, what can they do? They can have soya fortified milk. Okay, they can have sesame seeds. Right, so linking those 2 points together, the vegan and the vegan, because you need to give the advice. And then your menu for one day is a simple menu, no pictures, and centered. So the top heading on the menu is breakfast, then lunch, then dinner. Have drinks and snacks, and have nice healthy dishes. For example, what I have here. So if you have chicken and broccoli pasta bake, you might serve it with garlic bread. You might serve it with a glass of milk. Okay, and then for a dessert, you could have a rice pudding or a tapioca, something that's made with milk where possible. Okay, and if you have a salad for lunch with something like chicken goujons or a quiche Lorraine with a salad, you could have sesame seeds sprinkled on top of your salad. And then your chosen dish I have decided to make, and then your 3 sources of information. The full website links are needed, so that if I tap the website link in fully, the /, the dashes, everything, it'll bring me straight to the website that you used for your research. And the source of the recipe should be included there. And after every website link, you need to put the date that it was accessed on. So for example, in brackets, you'd say accessed on the 1st of January 2021. Okay, so I hope this makes sense to you. I'm going to upload this now onto Classroom, and I'd like your third draft to get to me by Monday, please. And you're also having a test on carbohydrates on Monday. Okay, so thank you guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.